Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Wednesday, the 14th of January. Former Pakistan President Musharraf indicted in murder of Baloch leader. Pope Francis canonizes Sri Lanka's first Catholic saint. And India celebrates harvest festival of Makar Sankranti. And now for all the details. A Pakistani court has indicted former President Pervez Musharraf in the murder of Baloch nationalist leader Nawab Akbar Bugti. He's the first army chief to face trial in court in a country that was ruled by the military for more than half of its history.
An anti-terrorism court in southwest Quetta ordered pressing charges on former military dictator Pervez Musharraf in 2006 Bugti murder case. The court issued the order in absentia on Wednesday after Musharraf failed to attend the hearing yet again. Despite repeated orders to be present in the court, Musharraf has been avoiding the proceedings citing health reasons. The case is in connection with an army operation in the rest of Balochistan province, which resulted in the death of nationalist leader Nawab Akbar Bugti. Musharraf had ordered a crackdown on Bugti, who led an armed rebellion seeking greater autonomy and a fair share of the rich mineral wealth of the province for the locals. Following his killing, the demand for autonomy has now metamorphosed into a movement seeking outright secession from Pakistan. Musharraf, who ruled the country from 2001 to 2008, is already indicted in a high treason case for suspending and subverting the constitution during the emergency in 2007. He is also facing trial in the assassination of former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto.
The United States has named Mullah Fazlullah, the chief of Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, as a globally designated terrorist. The fugitive militant leader, believed to be living in Afghanistan, is accused of a number of terror incidents in Pakistan, including the Peshawar Army School attack last month.
The State Department issued a release on Tuesday naming Mullah Fazlullah, aka Radio Mullah, as a specially designated global terrorist. According to the order, US citizens are barred from engaging in transactions with him. All property and interests of Fazlullah in the United States will also be frozen. The move comes at a time when the ISAF, Pakistan Army and Afghan Army are conducting joint operations inside Afghanistan after his militia claimed responsibility for the Peshawar Army School attack, which killed 142 people. Fazlullah, who fled the country in 2007, became the chief of the TTP in November 2013. Prior to that, he made a name for himself within the ranks of the Taliban for running a parallel administration in Pakistan's Swat Valley based on an extreme interpretation of the Sharia. He also ordered the shooting on Nobel Peace Prize winner and Pakistani girls educationalist Malala Yousafzai in October 2012. Fazlullah is also believed to have masterminded the targeted attacks by the TTP on polio vaccinators in Pakistan.
Blessed Joseph Vaz has become the first Sri Lankan to be raised to sainthood. He was canonized by Pope Francis, who was on a 3-day visit to the island nation.
Hundreds of thousands of Christians attended the Holy Mass on Wednesday in capital Colombo as Pope Francis canonized Joseph Vaz, the first Catholic saint from the country. An ordained priest from India's Goa, Saint Vaz is credited for spreading Christianity in Sri Lanka in the 17th century. Addressing the gathering, Pope Francis stressed on the importance of religious freedom.
Religious freedom is a fundamental human right. Each individual must be free, alone or in association with others, to seek the truth and to openly express his or her religious conviction, free from intimidation and external compulsion.
The minority Christian community in the island nation was all excited about the achievement. Many also felt the presence of Pope Francis, the first papal visit to the country in over 3 decades, made it extra special.
Catholic question make a suviseshi avasthaවක් අපේ රටට අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා එතුමාගේ පැමිණීමෙන් අපේ රටේ යම් කිසි සාමය වගේ දෙයක් අපේ රටට ලැබෙයි කියලා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ඒ වගේ දෙයක් බලාපොරොත්තු තමයි මම අද මෙතෙන්ට පැමිණිලා තියෙන්නේ.
The Pope arrived in Sri Lanka on Tuesday for the first leg of his week-long Asia tour. The visit aims to focus on post-war settlement and interfaith harmony in the country after nearly 3 decades of lingering ethnic violence. The 1.5 million-strong Christian community in Sri Lanka accounts for nearly 7% of the Buddhist majority population there.
While the entire world came together to condemn the terror attack on French satire magazine Charlie Hebdo last week, a group of radical clerics in Pakistan have deemed the killers as heroes. They also offered funeral prayers for the brothers who were behind the murder of 12 people.
Dozens of people organized a march and prayers in Peshawar to celebrate the Paris attackers on Tuesday. Led by a cleric, they also took out a march chanting slogans against the French magazine and cheering the attackers. They also offered funeral prayers for the brothers who were killed by security forces a day later. The cleric claimed that the brothers were heroes.
जिन हज़ारात ने पेरिस में नामूस रिसालत के खिलाफ तौहीन आमीज़ खाके शाये करने वाले गुस्ताखाने रसूल को किरदार तक जो पहुँचाया है, जहन्नम तक उनको पहुँचाया है, तो उनको खिराज तहसीन पेश करने के लिए आज ये इज्तिमा मैंने किया.
Insulting Prophet Muhammad is a serious crime that is punishable by death in highly conservative Pakistan. At present, 14 people are languishing on death row in the country for falling prey to its blasphemy laws, which rights groups say are used to persecute minorities and wage personal vendettas.
Pakistan-occupied Kashmir has become a picture of neglect and exploitation. Despite being endowed by rich natural resources, the Himalayan region is plagued by acute water shortage. Here's a report.
The area around Musharraf, capital of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, was a lush forest with rippling streams and freshwater ponds. But all that has changed now. The unchecked exploitation of natural resources has affected the Himalayan glaciers and the monsoon cycle. Locals now have to trek long distances to fetch water from community pumps. A major reason for the rising water scarcity in Pakistan's unscrupulous plans of building several hydropower projects in the ecologically sensitive zone, which has led to clean water drinking becoming a scarce commodity here.
इस नीलम जलन की वजह से जो आपने एनवायरनमेंट की बात की है, ये आपका नीलम जब खुशक होगा, जेलम जब खुशक होगा, तो ये मुजफ्फराबाद आप खुद अंदाजा कर लें कि मुजफ्फराबाद की क्या पोजीशन बन जाएगी.
POK was a part of the erstwhile princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan, which invaded the Himalayan region in October 1947, has since treated POK as its colony. To combat its burgeoning power crisis, Pakistan government is building the Neelam Jhelum project in the remote region. This has forcibly evicted thousands, and vast swathes of their fertile agricultural land have been acquired. Even the river water has been diverted, leaving the catchment area in POK dry.
नीलम को देख लें, आज सर्दी हालांकि पानी रुका है, एक नाला बना हुआ है, और जब ये पानी भी रुक जाएगा, आप मुजफ्फराबाद की एनवायरनमेंट पे फर्क पड़ेगा. मुजफ्फराबाद की जो जंगली हयात है, नशेरी से लेकर नीचे तक जितनी इसकी जो आबी हयात है, उस पर असर पड़ेगा.
Latif added the continued plundering of POK's natural resources will leave the Himalayan region struggling to get a fair share of its own wealth.
मुजफ्फराबाद को अल्लाह ताला ने दुनिया के उन शहरों में शामिल किया है कि यहाँ 3 दरिया बहते हैं. दरिया कनार को भी आप शामिल कर लें कि अब वो मुजफ्फराबाद का ही एक हिस्सा है. मुजफ्फराबाद आपका इतना फैल गया है, और जब 2 दरिया ये दरिया झेलम जब छोटे के मुकाम से डाइवर्ट होगा और वो नशेरी के मुकाम से डाइवर्ट होगा, तो छोटे से लेके मुजफ्फराबाद तक और नशेरी से लेके मुजफ्फराबाद तक जो आबादी है, हमेशा जितनी भी आप पुरानी तहजीब पढ़ें, आबादियाँ जो हैं हमेशा दरियाओं के किनारे, सिंध की तहजीब है, सिंध के किनारे आबाद हुई है.
Despite mounting opposition, Pakistan continues to tax Kashmiris heavily. No amount of the revenue collected here is ploughed back for bettering the social infrastructure of the impoverished region.
India's Supreme Court on Wednesday set aside a stay on Bollywood actor Salman Khan's conviction in the 1998 black buck hunting case. The apex court overturned the Rajasthan High Court's order, asking it to decide Khan's plea afresh in accordance with the law. The lower court had sentenced the superstar to 5-year imprisonment. Though Khan was granted bail against the conviction, he was charged with other counts of killing wildlife and of breaking gun laws. The actor was convicted in 2007 for hunting and killing an endangered deer. Co-actors Saif Ali Khan, Sonali Bendre, Tabu and Neelam were also accused in the poaching case while shooting for a film in Rajasthan in 1998. India and Bangladesh inaugurated the third border hut or common market along the frontier of northeastern Agartala. The initiative is aimed as a gateway to increase trade between the two countries.
The third border hut or common marketplace was inaugurated by India's Industries Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and her Bangladeshi counterpart Tofail Ahmed in India's northeastern state of Tripura on Tuesday. Around 16 items including agricultural and horticultural crops, spices, dairy and poultry products have been shortlisted for trade here.
The commerce between the two nations will only encourage and build better relations, and these are common citizens between Bangladesh and India who are going to trade, and after all this whole hut is going to cater to a 5-kilometer radius. So small traders, small purchasers are going to come here to buy and sell goods, which is going to revive the local economy.
The hut system was introduced to provide a common platform for buying and selling of indigenous goods for people from both sides of the India-Bangladesh border.
Rustic fervour and festive spirit has gripped India as harvest festivals are being celebrated across the country. Take a look.
As the winter begins to wane, Indians have got into a festive mood. Defying the morning fog, devotees in northern Uttar Pradesh took a dip in the holy river Ganges at dawn to mark the beginning of the auspicious festival of Makar Sankranti. Thousands in holy cities like Allahabad, Varanasi and Haridwar lit earthen lamps as they performed rituals on the banks.
कहा जाता है कि इससे पापों का निवारण होता है स्नान करने से, इसलिए
Worshippers also offered khichdi or a dish of rice and pulses to the sun god.
आज के दिन भगवान का गंगा जी का आरती होता है, पूजा देखते हैं हम लोग और खिचड़ी बनाते हैं, खिचड़ी खाते हैं.
Thousands also flocked to the Golden Temple in northern Amritsar and prayed for a harmonious year ahead. The skyline of many of the cities in western Gujarat was adorned with hundreds of colorful kites. Several foreign tourists also tried their hand at flying kites.
It's very fine in festival. We are from Poland. We stay in the teams with the first time in India, and first time it's this festival. But the people is friendly.
Kites with portraits of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Barack Obama were a hit in provincial capital Jaipur. Shops in Surat too boasted of the two leaders who are scheduled to meet later this month on the sidelines of India's Republic Day celebrations.
अभी इस साल तो पीएम मोदी वाले पतंग बहुत डिमांड में है और वो खाली मोदी का फेस देख के ही लोग ले जा रहे हैं. अभी 10,000 तक पतंग हम बेच चुके हैं पीएम मोदी वाली.
Kite flyers in Ahmedabad were in for a surprise when Bollywood legend Amitabh Bachchan showed his kite flying prowess alongside actors Dhanush and director R. Balki. Traditionally associated with the harvest of the Rabi crops, Makar Sankranti celebrates the advent of spring and the northward journey of the sun, which coincides with the beginning of longer days.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Former Pakistan President Musharraf indicted in murder of Baloch leader. Pope Francis canonizes Sri Lanka's first Catholic saint. And India celebrates Harvest Festival of Makar Sankranti. Now, viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.